very warm welcome to these tutorials, which will empower you to play elementary music expressively and fluently. Number one, to cultivate and maintain a deep personal connection with the music throughout all your practice activities. This is the cornerstone of fluent expressive playing, and leaving it out at any stage will negatively affect your outcomes. And number two, to play by ear as much as possible, to take the music off the page, as my American teacher Sophia Rossoff used to say, and to put it in your mind's ear for the direct expressive coordination that this produces. In each video in this playlist, I'll be offering 2 tips that prioritize these fundamental elements of fluent expressive playing. Do please check out the other videos in this playlist as they form a series and complement each other. And do please visit pianoportals.com, where you can find out more about the joyful, holistic approach to piano technique underpinning the advice I'm giving here. Please note that I'm demonstrating these activities having already grown to know and love the musical sounds of these pieces in detail. That's why I don't have the score in front of me, but I would of course start with the score or with a recording or with both if I don't actually know the music yet. Mark my words, really only works if your piece of music originally was a song with words. Although there's nothing to stop you from, of course, making up words to go with any piece of piano music to help you to grow to love and know and internalize that music. Because this music is essentially a chorale tune, in the urtext, the original text version of the Anna Magdalena music book from which it comes, it actually has the words under the notes as if it's a song. And for me, this is an incredibly powerful tool to help you to internalize, to get under the skin of these melodies and to help to appreciate their flow, their rise and fall, their emotional content, their meaning. This in turn will help you to cultivate the mindset and the physical response to the music. That is the cornerstone of your easy and flowing performance of this piece. I'll put the words up on the screen and you can pause this video and have a look at them, and as you get to know the melody, in particular the uppermost melody, I would reflect on the words. Even if you don't have any particular religious sensibilities yourself, just notice what Bach may have been expressing or what kind of feelings underpin these phrases or phrases within phrases. For example, the beginning of the second main section. The words are "Du bist mein Vater," which means "you are my father." Now for me, that has a particular feeling which I can't really put into words, but it's there, it's something that I respond to, and it helps me to coordinate my body instinctively in response to the flow of that music. My particular favourite moment is the very end of the last phrase, for which the words are "hoffe ich," which means "I hope," which gives that final phrase a really interesting twist at the end. Now you do have to be a little bit careful about being too dogmatic. about what's often referred to as word painting. In other words, how the music corresponds in detail to the meaning of the words. In a lot of Baroque music, music was recycled, for want of a better word. In other words, a composer would write a tune and use it for a particular purpose, and then take the same tune and use it for completely different lyrics at a different stage in their career. This happened, for example, with the Hallelujah chorus by Handel, which originally was not the Hallelujah chorus from the Messiah at all. But let's use the words that we have in front of us as they're there, as a tool for growing to know and love this music ever more deeply and to appreciate its expressive contours. On the face of it, this is a simple piece. It has a simple texture. In other words, there are two musical parts. Originally, those parts probably would have been filled in with what's known as basso continuo or figured bass, where the keyboard player at the time would have played not only the bass line, but also filled out chords according to symbols, which are numbers above the notes, a little bit like chord symbols in jazz. But essentially this elementary version is in two parts. However, those two parts form two melodies that within themselves are quite complex melodically. They're full of unexpected twists and turns and wide leaps, for example, making the lower part in particular sound like a wonderfully glorious, expressive cello line at times. I would always approach unfamiliar music as a layer cake and grow to know and cherish each musical part independently before combining them. You don't have to do this for the entire piece. In fact, I'd recommend that you don't, but that you start with one phrase or one small section at a time, grow to know and love the uppermost melody, the main melody, which is usually the uppermost part of the texture, and then any other layers before combining them. And when you do combine them, be honest. Can you genuinely keep track in your mind's ear of what you're playing, of those two melodies? Can you hear them and how they move along and interact? Piano portals is a truly holistic approach, and given that, I can only go so far into it with these little snippets of advice. In these tutorials, I'm starting where I would always recommend that you start, with principles 1 and 2 of 7 from Piano Portals, which is first, to connect deeply and personally with the music at all stages and throughout all activities, and number 2, to play by ear as much as possible. Piano Portals is about meeting you where you are, not doing a load of unnecessary activities for the sake of it, but becoming the expert over time on your own playing coordination, leaving things well alone if they're already working fine, but bring your increasing self-awareness to elements of your coordination that may require freeing up or integrating further. So there may be subtle refinements in the rest of your playing coordination that could empower you further to play more expressively and fluently. And for this, I highly recommend that you visit pianoportals.com and check out the ever-increasing range of online courses, ebooks, tutorials and cheat sheets on offer to open-minded pianists and teachers like yourself. And please don't hesitate to be in touch with any queries or questions or your responses to these tutorials. I'd love to hear how you're getting on with these pieces.